Let's move on to the RSA Novices Chase then. Again, Nicky has the favourite for this race, Might Bite, the horse that everybody seems to want to be against for whatever reason. We'll come to in a moment. Also runs Whisper, the former Coral Cup winner, and 007, who'll be ridden by Aidan Coleman. Nicky, so we'll start with you again here. Might Bite, there seems to be a feeling that he's too short. He's a horse we could oppose in this race. Don't you think he's just better than all the others?
I think I've probably put the frighteners. Well, I've put the frighteners on Might Bite, but the caution is the track. I know what he could do, and what he was doing at Kempton in the Feltham was quite extraordinary. And I think he's got into this position of being favourite because of what he was going to achieve before he fell at the last. And it was going to be mighty because he'd just gone round on his own, and it seemed he was in second gear, and they couldn't go with him. And the clock was what was significant. His jumping has been very good, but it took a lot of time to get it together earlier on in the year. He got beaten at Foss last because he was slow, and I remember watching it from here, actually. I said, the only person who'll beat Might Bite will be Might Bite. And that's exactly what happened. He got beaten at Foss last. Then he started to get into a rhythm and he won, and then Kempton would have been good. I am nervous about Cheltenham. To be fair, until the day before yesterday, I never saw him school so well. He was fantastic. We don't have to make the running. The Irish horse, again, I cannot pronounce its name. We watched it wing round.
Which one?
The one that made all the running.
Acapella Bourgeois.
Correct. And that went to right gallop. Now, some will say the other boys just let it go and it got away. If that wants to go, we don't have to make it. Might Bite's perfectly happy with the lead, and otherwise he cruises at his own speed.
But if you really fancied him, would you bowl Whisper and 007 into this race when they both had alternative engagements?
Yeah, I don't think you look at it that way. We've got to put those horses into the races we think they're best suited to. I do agree with what you say. If Might Bite is favourite, it doesn't just smack of the hottest RSA. There is a little bit of that. To be fair, 007 would have to carry 11.8 in the Ultima handicap. That's an awful lot for a novice, so he switches in. Whisper, I think the JLT is competitive. It's not that as much as talking to Davy Russell, we feel that he's a horse that needs to warm into his race, just get into a rhythm. He's an old horse with new tricks. And give him a little bit more time to get into the race. So Whisper comes in here as well. Look, you've got to run them where you think their best chance is, not judging the opposition. And, okay, we know what the opposition is in that we have Might Bite, and he is favourite. I think on Kempton, he's entitled to be favourite. My nervousness is Cheltenham, but he was very, very good on Friday. When we schooled him, yeah.
Might Bite was very, very good on Friday.
Absolutely fantastic.
Okay, so if you play the race over in your head, over and over and over and over again, who do you see jumping the last in front, and who's in front at the line? When you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you do.
You run three, and I mean, going back to what we were talking about, Altior. You know, you've got one, you expect him to win. We run three in here with hope, and considerable hope. Every single one of them. 007 is in very good order. He's entitled to be here. And if he was on his own, I think he'd still have a good chance. The fact you've got the others it does help. As they say, the more mud you throw at it, there's more chance of, there you go.
Okie doke. Alan, will Nicky win this race? If so, with which one? And if he doesn't, who will?
Well, of Nicky's horses, the one I like most is Whisper. I think I've been very impressed with him this season, and he's got experience around Cheltenham, which I think is a big plus. I think the 3 miles will suit him. I'd be very nervous at Might Bite. A crashing fall at Kempton, which was going to be a massive performance, but he didn't convince me around Doncaster the other day. He's by a stallion called Scorpion that don't need an awful lot of excuse to put them off, and that would just worry me. He's jumping around there. American is a horse I like, but I would be worried the ground might not be soft enough for him. Harry Fry's horse did it very well around Warwick. Warwick's a good testing ground for Cheltenham. You need to jump around Warwick, and he did that very well, but the ground might just be going against him. And I do like the Irish horse that, again, I can't pronounce his name, but I thought he was very good a couple of weeks ago.
Acapella Bourgeois, as opposed to Alpha des Obo. Yeah? Sandra Hughes' horse.
Acapella,
Big
yeah,
Chestnut,
that's the
yeah.
one.
Jamie, if you could ride one in this, what would it be?
Yeah, I like American Harry Fry's horse. I do think you need a strong stayer in the race, and he looks a strong stayer. He may want softer ground. Like Might Bite, the speed he was going down to last in the Felton was unbelievable, and he would have been very impressive that day. But I do think American would be my choice.
And Tony, just very quickly, if you're going to go for one of the big outsiders here, it's the kind of race that could be right for a bit of a turn-up, isn't it?
Possibly. I think Might Bite was 5-2 about a couple of weeks ago. I think there's been a lot of opposition to him on every single panel you read about this. I think he's drifted to a price now that probably underestimates his raw ability. I've got no doubts he's probably the best horse in this race on pure talent. You could well want to wait. He could well be the horse that bookmakers and exchange layers want to get near the time. But I think he's hit a price now where I think you seriously have to consider him, even if it's just your second selection in here. I have played in the race and I've been backing it for a while. Again, just 20-1 downwards, and I think it's still a fair price at 12s. The horse that would have finished a country mile behind Might Bite at Kempton, Royal Vacation. Now, that form has obviously stacked up massively. Royal Vacation was going to get beat circa 20 lengths there. It's come out and won a handicap over 2 mile 5 at Cheltenham off a mark of 143. It's now rated 152. That just puts into context the performance that Might Bite was going to deliver at Kempton had he got over the fence. And so I think 4-1 the favourite, I wouldn't put you off, but I think Royal Vacation is improving. The step up and trip will suit, and we know he's proven around Cheltenham. They're very confident with him. They just think he's tough as nails, exactly the type for that race. So Royal Vacation at 12s if you wanted a double figure price in this one.
Royal Vacation, 2 votes for American if he runs, and Nicky likes all 3 of his to triple dead heat.